It's like, are you okay? Dang, my husband knows I'm recording. Stop playing. It was messing with my mental health. And I was like, I can't do this. And she looked at me and she was like, months after me doing that consistently, I started noticing. I left you on a little cliffhanger a while ago. We had like a part 1. I had a video on my channel that was talking about basically how I was having like a cult-like experience. And honestly, that's my... I know that sounds so like, what happened? You know, by the way, I had my hair colored today, so I have some coloring like on my actual skin. But when I say that, that was really my experience. I feel like in the moment, not really, because I was in it. But now looking at it from an outsider of my experience, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, that really was. And so I just want to talk about a little bit more of my experience. A lot of y'all have asked more about that and kind of just want to hear more. You're involved still with working in the industry like that. And my face is very dry, it feels like right now. So I'm just doing some extra hydration and some priming. And I'm gonna do my makeup as if I would if I was just doing it and playing around. So I kind of did a little bit of the Rare Beauty face primer, and it's a 4-in-1 mist, and it's super, super hydrating. And then I did the e.l.f. primer, which that primer is the hydrating face primer from e.l.f. and it's really good. It kind of just feels very like silicone-y. Feels really nice and very hydrating and dewy, and I love that. Now I'm going in with Ole Hendrickson, and I'm just doing a strength trainer peptide boost moisturizer I'm obsessed with. And today's top, I want to give it some highlight. This, I'm going to link this below, but this is a top that I just recently got off of Amazon, actually just came today, and I put it on, just a simple little top that's cool for fall. Also on my skin right now, I've been doing a lot of things like serums and stuff, of course, but I love adding this into my moisturizer. So I love doing the tanning drops, and it's a body tanning drop treatment. It's really good, but right now I'm really just doing it on my chest and my face, and you can see my face has some color, and it's because of that. And I just love that. I just feel not so washed out. But I did get my hair colored today, so that makes me feel really good and extra confident when it comes to like, I don't even have to fix it. Yeah, I asked her and I was like, can you please fix my hair today? Like, that would be awesome, because sometimes I'm like, I don't care. But if I know I have something going on, it's nice to give her a heads up. So, you know, I always get it dry, but sometimes we don't curl it because it's not really a big deal. But it is fixed today, and it's just like straight and pretty and flowy, and that's how I love it. So just a little back end story time of my experience with working for a makeup company that was a direct sale company, still is. I just want to give you some stories. If you haven't seen the video I'm talking to, I would go to that video and I would watch it, because that will give you a little bit of insight, because I hate to repeat myself, you know. So go to that one, and I'm sure I'll overlap some information, but it would be good for you to go to that one. So I want to give you some scenarios of when I was involved, and just some stories just to kind of give you a reason of why I kind of had my eyes open and I was like, I'm ready to get out, you know, I'm done with this. So I had a space that I rented with a bunch of women, because the rent of this space was, I think it was almost like $2,000 a month. And it was almost like in this like strip mall type of area. But it was like a business park is what you would reference it to. It was a great location. It was really cool because it was a spot to like get outside of the home and work in an office type setting, but it wasn't set up like an office. It was set up like tables and chairs, and to have like events, like larger events or smaller parties and things like that, because in the business you would want to have parties, and parties were like a handful of people just to get together, experience product together, and then when they experience the product, people would potentially purchase. And that was always the plan, is because that's how we made money, was from women buying product and also women signing up with the company. And so it was really exciting to have an event because it was potential of something cool happening like that. So there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's really cool. It's up to the individual of how they want to do that, if they want to do that. But it was very much put on us like, if you want to be in this company, this is what you have to do to make money, is sell product. And a good way to sell is with a group of people, which makes sense. So I would have these events and I actually enjoyed having them. Like, I actually didn't mind having them. What I had a problem with is I was going to a lot of people's houses, and that kind of got old to me because I was going into places that I actually didn't feel comfortable with. But I was like, I don't know where else to go. So that was a good reason of having a space that I rented. And I couldn't afford to have a place by myself. And honestly, I couldn't even afford to have it with a group of people. Like, there were times like I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay my rent. And so if I didn't work and have money, I didn't come from like people that I could just be like, hey, can I borrow money from? Like, you know, all the time. That just wasn't a thing. I need work. So, you know, I worked, I paid my rent, and then I was hopefully gonna have extra to have money for other bills and lifestyle and things like that. And I wanted to support, and I didn't want to go and work a 9 to 5, and I didn't want to go work any more retail, and I didn't want to nanny anymore. Like, there were things I did prior to that I was just like, I actually love working for myself. And so this industry, being in cosmetics, was fun for me, but I didn't know that there was another way. You know, I kind of felt like, I guess this is the only way. And so I ended up having this studio space with other people. And when you do that, you kind of have to coordinate schedules. And so that was kind of tricky. So I started working whenever I had kids, is kind of when I'm going to reference this, because this is when a lot of it was kind of, it came to, because I was not only, I wasn't in a space anymore of like, I can work anytime I want to. Like, I'm now a new mom and I have children. I want to do all the things for my kids first, and then work comes second to that. And that was a lifestyle my husband and I set up, you know? And so with all that being said, it was always put on me that, you know, there's an event to be at, you need to be at it. And so every evening, one evening out of the month, we would always have, one evening out of the week, we would always have like a meeting, and it would be a big like team meeting, but recruiting night. So you could bring potential people that you would be interested in, like, hey, I think you should hear about the opportunity of the business. So it was like very much like highlighted, bring people here. This is the night to bring them. And then sometimes we would have a guest come in that was like someone else that was pretty successful in the company, and they would come and maybe speak. So we would have those maybe once a month or every 2 to 3 months. And if we didn't have them at our place, we had them at other people's places. So we were having people go to those places. So it was very much like a big recruiting thing a lot, right? But outside of that, it was like selling products. So this is where it got me. I got to the place when I was having kids where I was like, hey, I'm not going to be able to come to this event. And it was kind of like, what? Why wouldn't you want to come to this event? If you don't come to this event, you're not helping your family. Like, it would be communicated like that, and I would be, and sometimes it wouldn't even be like said like that, but it would be like, I mean, this is gonna help your family, you know what I mean? Like, it would just be like noted, and sometimes it would bluntly be said like that to me. And then I was like, well, that just doesn't work for my schedule, you know what I mean? I have kids and I'm just not gonna make it work. And then we would have these agendas where in production, things that we would have to meet every single month, like a quota. And if you didn't meet these quotas, then there were like penalties depending on your position and your level. And so it was like, the more you do in production, the more income you potentially make, right? Depending on your position and your level. And I had recruited, because personally, I love the company and I love the business and I loved what I was doing with it, and it was a really good opportunity for me. But it started becoming, it wasn't necessarily the company, but it ended up being like the people that were involved and that were kind of like in my ear a lot. And I was like, so these are some of the things that would happen. It was like, So you recruit like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people and up, right? I recruited more than like 30 people at one time early in my career, and I became like a director of the company. And then I started recruiting so much because I personally loved what I was doing. So I had like over 60 personal people on my team, and then some of my team members recruited a bunch of people. So at one time I had like over 100 and some people on my team. So, and I had a company car, and I had I think 5 cars at that point, or 4 cars or something like that. And so or maybe it was like for 5 years. It was something like that. I had like 2 white cars, and then I had like a black SUV with them, and you drive them both for 2 years. Well, it was at this one point where like, yeah, I stopped coming to things as frequently because I couldn't make them because I needed to be home with the kids. And then when I would come, if I didn't have a guest with me, then it was kind of like frowned upon, you know. Okay, Ben. And then it was kind of like frowned upon, and I was like, what is happening? And then it was like, if you didn't meet a certain number of production, well then, if you don't make this production, then you, see, if you drive a car and you have a certain amount of people on your team, you have to have like, I think like 5,000, something in production of wholesale. So everything was like a 50-50. So it was like retail, wholesale. And so it was like, if I didn't have that in, and let's say I was missing $200, where they were like, oh, you're $200 away, put your own money in. So it just became this thing that was like talked about in the community of, well, if your team's not doing it, you do it. And so I would find myself in situations where I was like, I was $600 away, I was $200 away, I was like stuff like that. And I'd be like $1,800 away, something. And I'd be like, well, I guess I have to do it. You know what I mean? And if I didn't have the extra sales, then, well, I guess I'm coming out of pocket. So my husband and I were finally at the point, because I had done that a few times, and I was finally at the point, and I was like, I'm freaking tired of doing this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even care about having a team or doing XYZ. Like, if I didn't sell a certain amount of product, I'm not ordering a certain amount of product. And I can't remember what year it was, but the company came out with, it's called a customer delivery service. CDS was the abbreviations. And we were at this big company event. They talk about them being seminars. And at that event, they announced, we're having customer delivery service. So not only now, if you don't have a product in stock in your inventory, you can have us ship it to your customer for you. So I was like, shut up. I was like, this is going to be a game changer, because I was kind of getting to a point where I was sick of having inventory. Because if I didn't have something in inventory, I would call somebody else and say, do you have it, so I can run it to a customer? Because you know how your customers, they just want what they want right then. Maybe they're out and they're leaving out of town or something, and you want to, you know, have a satisfied customer. So, but I was to a point where I was like, I've had thousands of dollars of inventory on my shelf. I've sold out of it. I never replaced it. You know, I've done all those things, and I finally was to a point where I was like, I'm sick of running my business like this. If the company now is going to offer shipment, I'm going to take them up on shipment. So I think we had to pay like $5 or $6 to ship, but I charged my customers that. But then it was always taught to me like, don't charge your customers shipping. They should be paying shipping. I mean, you should be paying shipping for them. And I'm like, what the heck? Why would I pay their shipping if they want the product? They can pay $6. I'm not eating $6 every time I pay shipping, or every time I use this service or whatever. So like, that was also my thing. Like, I don't mind, like, maybe if you spend a certain amount, cool, I can cover it, but I'm not doing this every time. Because it eats into my profit. Do you know what I mean? And so, and I also have overhead and expenses and things like that too. So all this stuff, like these are things, like, I made these decisions, but then it was like, don't do that because of this. So I kept getting myself in positions and situations where I was like, why are y'all telling me how to run my business? You know, not necessarily the company, but like the community of other people in the company. And I'm like, I'm freaking over it. And you know, I was like, I want to do it this way, and I want to do it how it works for me. And that was how it was kind of all set up anyways, initially through the company. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I remember one time I had a party. Okay, so let me bring you to when I started having kids. It was in 2012, and I got pregnant, and then I had a miscarriage. Then I got pregnant quick after that, and then I had a stillborn. Very unexpected things were happening, but I remember going back to work, and it was like a pick-me-up, right? Go back to work, get back to reality, that type of thing. I was also dealing with a new insane illness, being a diabetic, a type 1, and dealing with that. And I was just like, okay, I need a distraction. So I got back to work, and I remember coming back, and it was always talked about to dress very nice. So if you're not dressed nice, nobody's gonna take you seriously, stuff like that. Wear a skirt, you wear tights, you know, like just look professional. So, which I really didn't have a problem with, but like there's sometimes, you guys, I'm gonna wear leggings and it's gonna be just fine. Like, you know what I mean? It is fine. And my customers are still gonna buy from me. You know, I'm still gonna book a wedding. And this is the thing too, I ended up turning my career into being a makeup artist and like doing makeup professionally. And I was obsessed with that and loved it. And so I was like, okay, like, so anyways, I shared this space with some other women, of course, like I shared with y'all. And it got to a place where I would come in one night and I had on, maybe I did have on a skirt, I'm not really sure, but I was dressed and I had on these really cute, fuzzy, sparkly slippers. And these slippers were so stinking adorable, and you're on your feet. So this is the thing, when you have an event, you are the person around the table doing all the stuff. You're going back and forth to the bathroom. You're going back and forth to the kitchen. It's basically like hosting an event, but everybody's at the table and nobody else gets up. Like, you're the one doing all the stuff. I was like, shoot, I'm gonna wear my slippers tonight and I'm gonna be comfy, and I'm excited about that, you know? So I'm doing this event, and in the middle of the event, this girl meets me in the hallway that also rents the space with us. And she looked at me and she was like, you cannot wear those slippers. Why are you wearing those slippers? That is not business attire. That does not look the part. That's embarrassing. Like, saying all this stuff to me. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I was like, shut up. Like, shut up. I'm going to wear what I want to wear. But it really pissed me off. And then stuff like this kept happening. Like, it was just like crazy stuff. It was like, if you don't have inventory, then, you know, crap on you. If you don't have X amount of recruits, then crap on you. If you don't have these big ambitional, and if you don't have a lot of ambition, then crap on you. If you, like, it was just a judgment area where I was exhausted from it. I was like, it doesn't matter what I do, I'm not going to be good enough. You know what I mean? And that was freaking annoying. And it got to a point where it was like, these different groups would be like, hey, you know, this is another director, but she doesn't do it the company way and use the company name the company way, so she's not a good influence on you. I wouldn't talk to her. And so it was like that. And I was like, are you okay? And so now, sorry, they're working out in the yard. And so then it became like, yeah, don't talk to her, whatever. But I'm going to tell you, the way I started conducting my business was, what I sell, I order. If I don't sell, I don't order, period, blank, the end. Same for my team members. And I don't have to, this is also when like Facebook Live started coming out, and I was like, I don't have to always do a party to sell product. Dang, my husband knows I'm recording. Stop playing. They do this every time. And so I was like, if I don't sell product, I think I just told y'all that. So what was I going to say after that? Now I'm very distracted because I'm not going off of any notes. I'm just like, I think the best way for me to storytell in this situation is just storytell. I'm like, I can't go off of notes, you guys. It's too many notes, to be honest. And so I ended up, oh yeah, and I would tell my team that. And I'm like, if we don't make production, hey, we don't make production. I don't freaking care, because I'm not going to put your family in a bind, just like I'm not going to put my family in a bind. You know what I mean? And so I started kind of like processing and thinking that myself. And I think I was telling y'all, like, after I had my stillborn, after I had Tinley, our daughter, that's when I came to the studio with like sandal, like life became too short for me. I think that's when everything hit me. I was like, I just lost my freaking child. I'm coming back to work. I'm wearing freaking slippers if I want to. And it really pisses me off that I'm coming to a place that now I'm being judged and asked not to do certain things or not to wear certain things because it makes you look bad or the company look bad. Are you okay? And so that kind of stuff kept happening, and I was like, this is crazy. So anyways, I kind of started having a talk with myself, and then I had my team, and then I was like, you know what, we're gonna start doing it our way. And we had this huge blow up at the studio about like re-signing the lease, because we would re-sign it every year, and this one girl was like, I'm not getting back on the lease with y'all or whatever. And I'm like, what the heck, like, what did we do to you? You know what I mean? That's kind of how it became. And I was like, what did we even do to you? Like, what is your problem? Like, and I blew up at the table. Like, I was so pissed because I was like, this person that like is being so weird now, it's just, it was crazy. So I ended up realizing, like, I don't have to have parties to sell. I don't have to do that in order to sell a product. So Facebook Live, that's where I was going with. Facebook Live became a thing. And then because that became a thing, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go live, and groups were a thing. I'm gonna go live and I'm gonna talk about certain products, and I'm gonna do my makeup live on the internet, and people can watch me do that, and then I can like showcase a product, and then I can link my website and they can buy it. Like, that's kind of the process in my brain. Because I was like, I'm a mom now of 2. Like, fast forward, now I have 2 boys and they're very young, and I'm like, I can't like hire a babysitter and then go do a party and maybe make money. You know, that was the thing. It was like, I could go to a party and maybe sell $20. I could go to a party and sell $1,000. Like, I don't know there's no guarantee. And so like me being like, I'm gonna get away from my kids and I'm gonna do that, like, no. So I decided, like, okay, I'm gonna hire a babysitter twice a week for 3 hours in increments, like 3 and 3. That's, I paid her $10 an hour, $60 a week. I'm gonna go to my studio and I'm gonna do live content, and then I'm going to link my website, and if people want to buy it, they can buy it. So instead of me being gone for 6 hours in person and maybe selling, I'm gonna be gone for 6 hours and maybe sell to 10 people. I'm gonna be gone 6 hours and I'm gonna sell to 1,000 people that saw the video, and we'll see if they want to buy, right? Because there's some people that I could never get in front of because our schedules just never meshed. You know, I was like unwilling to always change my schedule too, and so were they, vice versa. You know how people are. It's like some things work for them time wise and some people don't. And so I was like, okay, how are we gonna do this? And that worked. So 3 months after me doing that consistently, I started noticing a transition in my sales. Before, I was paying for a website, and it was just a generic website with a company. It wasn't anything special, but it was like, you know, it was like had your name on it, but everything was like theirs. And so it was like I noticed traction, and I would get like smaller orders popping up, you know what I mean? I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And it was because I was linking it on Facebook. And so then I was like, dang, this is so freaking sick. And then after 3 months of doing that, you guys, I was doing like before and afters, and I was doing how do you use products, how do you not do products, things like that, and highlighting stuff. After 3 months, I had like $4,000 in sales on my website. So needless to say, that 1 month after that, it hit, and I was like, I'm not doing parties anymore. If people want to see me, they can come to my studio when I'm available, and if they can't, they can't. They can go to my website, and if they don't, they don't. Like, I just was like unapologetic anymore. I was like, it is what it is. And then I ended up staying at that one studio for 1 year, and then I was like, I need my own place where I have more room and I can record more, and I had more freedom. And so then me and my husband found this vacant room in downtown Concord, and we were able to do all the we were willing to invest a lot of money into it because I was getting it, I signed a contract for 3 years, so I got it for a really good price, and it was just gonna be mine. So I had full control over what I did in there, and it was so beautiful. We had the most fun. I will tell y'all, that's the most fun I ever had in my business. Ever were those years, because I met some of my bestest friends in that place. That's where I slowly started doing stuff with Olivia. and then Courage, and then so many other women in there that I still talk to this day that are not involved in the company either. And we just had so much fun, and I never struggled to pay rent. I never struggled to meet production. We got another car when I was in that space, and it was just, and I never was away from my family when I didn't want to be. Like, we had a schedule, and I worked while they were in school, and it was like 3 seconds from their school. Literally, I could be there 3 minutes, really. And then I would work late one night a week, and my husband was like, go work. And then I would go to work on Saturdays. He's like, go do your thing. But then I was like, I'm overworking on Saturdays. So I stopped working on Saturdays after 2020. And so it was just, things just started evolving and happening. But then this is where it got me. I was doing so well online, right? It's like people want to get you when you're down. And for those 5 years of me being at this studio, I was getting phone calls, y'all, every month from legal. Every month. The legal department at this company will never reach out to you unless somebody reaches to them. I don't want to say never, but like, they're not intentionally out to get you. They're like, hey, I just want to call and ask you some questions. We had a phone call come in about blah, 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 blah. So I'll tell you what I started doing. I started ordering these boxes, and this was like even back in 2015. I had these really pretty boxes, and some of them are still over here. I still have a lot. I ordered a lot at the time, and I have these boxes, and my customers paid so much every quarter, and I would mail them boxes full of product and some really cool stuff. But I would have like clothing or accessories in it with beauty products. And it became a thing because, you know, my customers gave me the idea. And my sister was even like, this is such a cool idea you should do for your customers. I know people ask you this stuff all the time. I'm like, they do. So how could I figure this out? So I ended up selling these boxes also. And that was a way for me to offer new products for the season. Like fall, winter, summer, whatever. People turned me in for that. And it didn't have like the company name on the box. It just had their product in the box, but it became this legal thing. And I was like, what the heck? And then I started obviously doing YouTube really well. And then people would call about YouTube. Like, she's doing this and she's linking whatever. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Because I have a video online and it has my website linked in the description. Now there's a problem. Like, craziness. I had a business page on Facebook, and it was like my name or something, but I talked about the brand of like who I represented on that. Now that became a problem, and I was like,
I need your keys.
In my pocketbook, down there. Daddy needs it.
We're moving your truck out of the garage.
Oh, who is Daddy?
Is this your car?
Yeah, it's in that bag.
Is this your key?
You can take that. That's Daddy's key, so give that to him, please.
Okay. But it will still work on our truck.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Shut that door, please. Shut that door! Shut it! Thank you. And so it just was like one thing after the other, and I was like, y'all have got to be really pissed at me to constantly calling legal about what I'm doing. And legal was like, listen, and just go through the ring. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm not trying to do something wrong. It's just like these people are angry at me right now, and this is really pissing me off. So I kept facing more and more and more of that, and it became really, really exhausting. And then after years of that, you guys, you know, Olivia said to me at one point, she was like, wouldn't you like to have your own product line? And I was like, no, I don't even know how to do that. Like, when I think having my own product line, I think thousands of dollars, which it is. I think like thousands of dollars and like, you know, just a lot that I don't know about. I do this every time. I never get this blended. And I'm like, I just wouldn't even know where to start. And so anyways, she would always like put that bug in my ear thinking like, you could really do that. And honestly, you guys, when I met Olivia, I should have walked in, but I was in a good place and I didn't want to be angry, and like there was no reason to like walk, you know what I mean? But like now that I think about it, and I'm like, why didn't I? Like, I could have really stuck it out with my YouTube and tried other product and just really did some different super cool things. But there was a reason, and it is what it is. Now that I look back, it's fine. But so I finally just got sick of it. And so 2020 is when it kind of all, like, it hit. And it was like, I can work from home. I made more money in 2020 in 1 year that I had made in any year in my career in this company. And it's because of YouTube. I was making a YouTube video and people were going to my website like crazy, y'all. Crazy. My husband was like, this has never happened before. And I was like, I know, what is happening? And then we started another company and things were just going really, really well. And so I just was like, you know, it finally hit me. And like, so end of 2020, I was like, okay, what am I doing? And so 2021, I started like thinking, I don't know if I can do this forever. Like, it was like, you know, I still have customers, I'm still selling, I'm still having a good time, it's fine. But I was like, it wasn't, can I do what I'm doing with product? It was like, can I handle the noise on the outside? And I'm telling you, it was loud and it was in my ear and there were threats. And when I mean threats, there were threats. And it was scary. And I was like, it was messing with my mental health. And I was like, I can't do this. I physically, mentally cannot do this. And so I was like, I can't, I'm done. So I left and I turned in my resignation. I cried. It was my choice. No one forced me. I never missed production. I made well over. I did well. I made a good income for my home. I never went in debt. I never did any of that. And, you know, I made some poor choices in the beginning, obviously from like influence from the outside, but I got my crap together and I came to, and I did very well. And I was very, very intentional, and I was proud of myself for having the guts to be brave enough to be like, I'm doing my own thing. I'm doing what I feel is best for my family. And, you know, I did things that people just, it was unheard of. Instead of having those weeknight meetings, I changed them to Saturdays. Instead of doing parties, I stopped and I did a video instead, and I tagged my website. I did virtual events like crazy. I was doing things out of the norm, and it freaked people out. You know what I mean? And so it was just really wild. Yeah, it was crazy, you guys. But, you know, that meant I had to turn in my car. I had to go buy another vehicle, which I bought a brand new freaking truck that was maxed out and had all the bells and whistles. And it was because we could afford it. It wasn't that I never could. It was just, I just had a company car. And I was like, you know, this is also a thing. I want to give you some facts about the company. And this is any company that you don't own, that's not yours. And even like working for somebody else. I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying, you know, there's just pros and cons that come with everything. So when you see company cars from this company on the streets, that person doesn't own the car. The car is leased to them. And if you have a certain amount of time, you have either 4 months or you have 6 months to make this production that the company requires. And if you don't meet production 1 month, then you have to make up the difference the next month, and you're penalized. So you have to pay a fee for that car. The top car in the company, you have to pay a $900 fee. So when you see those cars on the street, if you don't make production, that person has to pay $900 that month. And they don't come out of their pocket cash. They are, it comes out of their check. So to a lot of the women, it doesn't really affect that bad, because it's not like they're writing a check to it. It's that the company just doesn't, they take it out of their check. And so, so that's crazy, right? And then, if you don't, within 6 months, if you don't end up meeting the certain number that you need to at the end of the 6 months, then you have a choice. You lose the car, and that sucks, but they'll give you a price. So they'll say, you can buy the car from us, and so yeah, you can just like own the car, you know, you can buy it from us and then you can just have it for like a wholesale price. So that also happens. So sometimes you see these company cars on the street. I never did that. I never bought a car from them. And I was never afraid of losing it. I was just like, y'all can have it. If you can have it, it's going to suck. We're going to figure things out. But I was just like, I never want to be in a position that I have to feel like I have to sell myself, you know what I mean, in order to keep this or whatever. And anyways, so I tell you that because a lot of people are having to pay out of pocket to keep a status. So that's also what was happening in the company, is that I was like, you know what's crazy? And I was like, you actually are not making production, and you are over here trying to keep this status, quote unquote. So you're going to do anything you can to go into credit card debt, make production, buy a car at wholesale and still drive it, just so you can sell a lifestyle. I'm going to tell you something about me. I don't care about your lifestyle. I care about who you are. I care about your heart. I care about the health of your family. Keep your family, put them first, and don't put yourself in a bind where you're stuck. And so it was just things like that. And I want to do this new lipstick, you guys. It's not really new, but it's Beauty Bakery. I haven't actually seen it in a while. I don't even know what's going on with them, but I think it's really a pretty color. It's like a mauve color. I'm gonna kind of try that today. And so I was like, yeah, I didn't want to ever be in a position where I felt like it was like fake, you know? And there are so many people that I did business with in the past that are two-faced. And now looking back, I'm like, dang, that's really freaking scary. And it is, it's really scary, and I didn't like it, and we stopped hanging out with certain people, and I lost people that were like, I felt like they were my friends. And that's really sad. I'm missing a lip liner. I'm like, where's a lip liner? And it was like, they're only looking out for themselves, you know? And I was over it. I really was. You know, I just wanted to have fun. I loved the product. And I was like, you know, that's a good thing. But when the community is toxic to you, you just can't do it anymore. You know, look how cute this is. I think this is actually super, super cute. Just a little pop. But when the community is toxic, it's not safe anymore. And that's how it was. So I tell you, if you know, I didn't say a name, but if you know what I'm talking about and you are involved, be careful. Only do what you want to do. There are quotas, there are agendas for others, and I became very honest with my team, and I was like, these are the quotas, this is the deadline, this is the XYZ or whatever that's like required of me, but if you can't do this, it's fine, like I'll figure it out, you know? Like I was just like, don't feel stressed about it, you know what I mean? I was like, I don't ever want to be stressed, I don't want you to feel stressed. And so that was kind of my mentality all the time. But it just became a thing where I told my husband, I was like, it's not healthy for me anymore. I don't feel good about it, and there's no need for me to like feel this way working. I'd rather be stressed over my own brand. And so it was just hard for me to, you know, also separate myself. I'm like, I'm in beauty. And so in 2022 is when I hit hard with using other beauty products. And it was really interesting, and it was kind of like strange, but man, was it so much fun. And now you can see my whole makeup routine has changed. What I use, I mean, I'm still very much myself, very authentic to what I love, who I am. And I'm just thankful for the space that I'm at now, where I feel really free and happy, you know, and I don't feel stuck. And that's a really nice place to be. I gotta shrink this forehead, you guys. It's just like massive. it's just massive, which is funny because it doesn't seem massive, but then when I look at it a certain way, I'm like, you know, the camera doesn't lie. Okay. It's not lying. It's that my baby hairs are even growing back, which is so awesome. I'm so happy about that. That feels really good. So it's a good feeling. Yeah, I love that so much. So anyways, that is the story, you guys. I hope I've answered as many questions as I can. I'll be honest, I'm probably not going to talk about it again because it's just, there's no reason to, and it is a part of my past that some of it was really great, some of it was really bad, and I have a lot of PTSD from some of the things. I don't trust well from some of the things, but I gained a lot of great customers. I loved my team. The last 5 years that I was with that company, because I did it how I wanted to do it, felt very real and authentic to me. And that was the most fun I had, and my most successful years came in that time frame. But I'm so happy with where I am now because I just want to work. I enjoy working, and don't take that the wrong way though. I enjoy working for myself. I don't want to work for anybody else. I enjoy working for myself. And I love my brand. I love my products. I love all of that. And I love helping you. I truly love connecting with you. We talk in the DMs, over email, over text. Like, I know you, I see you in the community too. Like, it makes me very happy that no matter where we are and what time zone, that we are here with each other every week. And I thank you for sharing your time with me. Thank you for letting me open up with you about that. But it was really tough when I got out because I was very, I was kind of like frowned upon. Even those last 5 years, it was like, she doesn't do it this way. She doesn't come to this. Don't talk to her. She's not XYZ. And it was really tough. I was like, people were like really putting labels on me, and that's not who I am. And then when I got out of the company, it was also the same thing. It was like people were just like leaving left and right. It was really wild, and crazy messages and hateful messages, and very, very sad. And I didn't think that my career with them would end like that, but my personal career has never ended, and I am very thankful and blessed for where I am now. And you watching my content, even though my YouTube is not hit like that, I have a lot of great videos that have tons of views, and I've made a lot of money on this platform, but not as much as I know I can. So and I love my short form content. I'm on Instagram, which I've kind of started a whole new thing over there, kind of storytelling and talking about lots of fun stuff and just enlightening you on things that I know would be helpful and inspiring for you too. And then TikTok is really fun because my husband and I just goof off, and I just put some of our funny stuff over there, which some of that's hit, and I've had an insane viral video go there that I did not expect. And I've gotten some hate there too. So the internet's not nice when people don't really know you, but I know my YouTube family really knows me, and I'm thankful for that. So y'all keep it positive over here, and if you're not anywhere else like Instagram or TikTok and you want to see me over there, then you just search Amber Lykins and I will pop up. So I love you very much. Thank you. And yeah, subscribe. Hope you love my makeup. I just was like chatting. I don't even know what I did, but I did it. So the one thing I was like, I just want to do a little pink. So I did it. And then I was like, I want to use this lipstick. I knew those two things. And that's all I knew. And then we just did my face. So I don't even know what faces I was making. I wasn't even paying attention to that. You know what? Let me know if you actually liked this style of video, because I would be interested in knowing that, because I might do some more like that. I kind of thought this was fun. And yeah, if you are always wondering what makeup I am wearing, go in the description and hit my shop mine. I'm going to do better. I'm going to do better there, but I'll link the cosmetics there. There's a lot linked, but I try to link individual videos when I have a minute to do that, and I would love to do that for this look, and that way you can see what I use and you can shop online for those products. But thank you for being here, and I love you. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.